Okay, we're back. I was going cross-eyed and colorblind working on the wiring harness, so I decided to do some other things for a little bit. Went to a swap meet, got a new radiator, give 50 bucks for that. Starting to figure out hoses and stuff like that. I've cut this piece off and redirected it. It used to shoot over this way. Upper radiator hose hooks up over here though. Just using parts and pieces off of the car that I had. Anything I can find laying around. I don't want to have to buy anything new if I don't have to. But I went ahead and cut the lower core support off. Getting stuff mocked up. I'm waiting on some steel to show up so I can get that welded back together. Get it where the radiator sits in there where it's supposed to. Just trying to figure everything out as I go, you know, a little bit here and a little bit there. Do what I can when I can. Hey, we're back. What we're going to try to do today is the bottom part of this core support. That one was mangled and stuff. I just cut it off. I've been waiting on a piece of steel. I got it. Just gonna have to sit down and stare at it a minute. Do some measuring, some eyeballing. Put the micrometer on it. But we'll get where this radiator will mount in there properly, this AC condenser, all that stuff, where it can actually go in and be serviceable and everything else bolt to it. Brake line's kind of attached to it. That's not a big deal. I don't care if they really do or not. But the radiator and stuff definitely has to go back in it, right? But I'm going to see what I'm going to do here, and when I get something figured out, I'll bring you back and show it to you. Okay, we're back. This is what we come up with. Don't look at the welds. I'm not a very good welder. I'm a pretty good grinder though, and it suits me just fine. We'll throw some paint on it and stuff. You'll see it again with the radiator in it. But yeah, I went in here and I plug welded it, both sides, all sides. Welded at the bottom and plug weld with weld on the bottom. It ought to be stout enough. I think it ain't gonna go nowhere. It should hold the radiator in there just fine. I'll just put a self-tapping screw through the mounts right here. It'll slide in from the top just like it did from the factory. Radiator will slide in there. I welded a bead around the bottom side of the circle to strengthen it, and then I went back and ground it all so it's not got a sharp edge. It's got a good wide edge for when that rubber goes in there. It doesn't just cut it right through there and it's worthless. It should stay in there just like it's supposed to. There we go. We got her painted up. It ain't pretty. Just keep it from rusting. That's all I care. It's all going to be hidden in behind the bumper and stuff anyway. There you go. We'll bring you back and show you what it looks like with the radiator and stuff in it after it dries out good. Okay, this is where we're at now. We've got the radiator in there. Just bolts in with the factory bolts on top. All this stuff just fits. I've still got to put a bolt in that, but that's alright. I've got to pull that back out. We're going to mount this radiator for the blower right in here. Might have to modify the mount just a little bit. And I'm going to drill a hole right in here. Right there. I'm going to put a riv nut in it. But that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna get that pulled back apart, get some holes drilled, get some rib nuts in it, and I'll show you that when I get it done. Okay, we've got that buttoned up. I got these mounted. Went ahead and mounted the power steering cooler line, just cut a hole in through the tube right there. Put a rub nut in it and a bolt there. Put rib nuts down into these onto the bottom. Had to extend this bracket right here so I could rib nut that and bolt it. These lines was already in this shape. I had to put this bend in them, but that wasn't bad. I just stuck it in the vise and bent it. I've still got to do a transmission cooler. I have to figure out where lines and all that stuff's gonna go. I may have to pull all this back apart again. It's just part of the process. This is the pump off the Marauder for the cooling system for the blower. But it's been broke. It was broke in the accident. I'm gonna see if I can find something similar to it, maybe even smaller, I don't know. But I figure I can mount it in this area somewhere, whichever way they're best. I don't know if the pump needs to be down like this or up at the top like that, but I can run all my hoses right out through this hole right here and right down to it and around and stuff. Power steering, that's pretty well the factory position. The lines just hook right back up right there. Yeah, I just got to get that training cooler. I'm probably just going to mount it right here with one of them through zip things. They're like a zip tie. But yeah. Okay, I fabbed up this little bracket here for the AC, or for the power steering reservoir. That thing's gonna mount right there on the alternator like that. Hold it right there. I'm gonna tack it up, pull off the reservoir, finish welding it. Then I'll grind some edges off of it, make it where it ain't so sharp and stuff. I'll hang it up, paint it real quick, and then that thing will go right there. I'll show you it when it's all back together and done. Well, there that is. All finished up, painted and everything. I don't think that's gonna go anywhere. That dude's solid. Yeah, we'll get the next one figured out. We'll be back. Okay, I've been sitting here staring at this thing for a while. This is the intake tube off of the Marauder. It come off of there, had big square box with square filter and stuff on the end of it. It was looking pretty close. So I moved the fuse block down. See right here, that's the fuse block. The top of that thing was 1.5 inches higher, maybe something like that. So I took the bracket off, moved it down. It's just self-tapping screws. That thing fit just perfectly there. Well, I needed something to plug that hole. I had that laying around. Guy'd give it to me. He didn't want it because the top come off of it. I was gonna glue it back on and use it on, you never know. Just didn't throw it away. Well, just so happens that thing fits right in there. I have to get a hose clamp for it. Since I moved that down, that'll go on there. But mass airflow sensor can go in it right here. And I'll see what I have to do to adapt one of them cone air filters to it right there. I'd buy one, maybe. I might be able to get a friend of mine to make one out of aluminum. I don't want to change anything if I don't have to, and I don't want to buy anything if I don't have to. I'm trying to do as much of this with leftover parts and stuff, and so far everything's working out fairly decent. But yeah, we'll get a piece made up for that and get an air filter, and we'll show you that. All right, we've been waiting all day for this. Ordered this stuff from Jegs, of course. Give you a little newspaper kind of deal. Yep, the deal of the day. We probably don't need to know that or can't afford any of it anyway. But we've been waiting on that. And let's see what else we got here. Should be a pump. Fired Performance. Oh, look, we got a box in a box. I know it's from Ford. It says Ford on it. Getting out the old pig skinner. All right, yeah, that's what we was looking for right there. I think that dude's gonna get mounted in that vicinity there somewhere. Yeah, we'll get that figured out and we'll bring you back and show that to you. Okay, got this little bracket fabbed up right here. It's gonna mount right here. This bottle's gonna mount on it for the supercharger coolant. I'll get that mounted on there and I'll show it to you. Okay, we got our intercooler reservoir mounted here. That shouldn't go anywhere. It's got a piece that comes down on the bottom of it. I showed you that. It's mounted good. We've got the water pump for the cooling system mounted there. All this stuff's all ready to go. Got this piece. Don't know if I showed you that. I was more interested in the water pump. Yeah, that's Jake's piece. I didn't think that was gonna screw into it. It took me about 15 minutes to get that started. But once it went in, it fit nice. Still gotta put hose clamps on. Got this piece all in. Lower radiator hoses and everything are all finished up other than put clamps on them. They're where they're gonna be. I don't know if this is gonna let the hood shut or not. It's up there a ways, but we'll see. If we gotta cut the hood more, we'll cut the hood more, and just whatever happens whenever we get there. Ain't much else I could do with it. I might could lower it a little bit if I get another hose that dropped down here and then come across. This is what I had. I went and bought this piece of hose and another hose just so I could get these bends where I wanted them and stuff, because I didn't have those pieces. But yeah, it's coming together.